Namaste and good morning. Welcome to this 75 Destination with Tour Guides webinar series organized by Ministry of Tourism under the overall ambit of Dekho Apna Desh web initiative. Today, it's my honor and pleasure to host this 34th session titled Joy of Exploration Destination Himalayas. My name is Venkateshan Dattatreyan. I am presently holding the post of Regional Director, West and Central Region in the Ministry of Tourism located in Mumbai. So I'm joining you all today from this vibrant city of Mumbai. In fact, let me kind of share with you, being born and brought up in Chennai, which is a coastal city, the mountains always attracted me and I was enthralled looking at those beautiful videos and the photographs, etc. Especially after it was introduced to us in our social studies uh, when we were in the school. So later, when I moved to Delhi in 2007 to work in the Ministry of Tourism headquarters, where I remained for almost uh, more than almost close to 20 years, more than 12 years, it really kind of took this opportunity to travel to the Himalayan states because of the proximity from Delhi rather than from south. It was quite far, but so it was always a kind of a fulfilling moment, especially I can proudly say that I have visited most of the Himalayan states like Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Jain, Jammu and Kashmir, West Bengal, Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh, the UT of Ladakh, and again with no bias or anything. Uttarakhand has always been one of my favorites, primarily because it's an abode of so many spiritual places, and it's kind of beautiful thing. And if you look at Himalayas is not a destination, it is an experience itself. So when we come back from the Himalayas, we normally come back so much filled with energy and the experience because it's a completely new culture. And every state, a Himalayan state, when you discover, when you go back, it's so varied. That is what is very unique of traveling in Himalayas. And India is really fortunate to be gifted with almost 73% of the Himalayas, which is in our country. So we have a wide variety of and a large landscape to cover if you want to really discover the Indian Himalayas. And so, just even among the states, it is just not one visit that will kind of help you or fulfill your desire to discover this beautiful geographical location. In fact, as I said, the Himalayas are also a complete destinations in themselves. And one beauty is it can be explored during any part of the year. It is just not seasonal because depending on the travelers, we can look forward to adventure and skiing in the winters. We can explore the biodiversity hotspot during the spring and the summers when we can do for mountaineering expeditions. So it is also an ideal destination for leisure and cultural activities during the autumn. So I would say that the Himalayas should be projected as a year-round destination, and that is where uh, it will also help the destinations going. Again, uh, Himalayas are also in a very eco-sensitive zone. Therefore, the promotion of tourism and also the development is should be kind of in a manner which will be sustainable, and also there's a lot of responsibility on both the travelers and the uh, operators or the stakeholders to see that there is no much damage ecologically to this very ecological sensitive zone. And one other good fact which has come on recent is the development of new airstrips and airports in the few of the Himalayan states. Today, Sikkim has an airport, Machuka has an airstrip, and there are also other places which can now be easily reached. That is also gives another opportunity to explore these remote areas. And well, when coming to this today's topic, which is joy of exploration, and where it has been rightly said that for the common people of the cities, it is impossible to find any place where no human steps were imprinted. But in Himalayas, there are still a lot of places and peaks where your every step could be the first step of a human being. Well, this is very, very kind of interesting. And especially after COVID, when we are looking at destinations which are not crowded, which are safe, etc., ideally traveling to Himalayas would be a great getaway. And also a little out of comfort zones can also take you to such areas which can be comparable to the moonlands in the earth, and there is so much of possibility to explore. And once again, coming back to this series, which is being hosted and carried on by the Incredible India Tourist Guides, I would really like to commend the complete team of IITG, which has been spearheading in promoting knowledge. Today, destinations knowledge is quite important, and I'm sure with today's webinar, we would really get a lot of knowledge of those areas in the Himalayas which are lesser known, unknown, etc., so that it gives you an idea. And now, let me also take this opportunity to welcome our esteemed speaker today, one of our distinguished Incredible India tourist guide, Devabrata Mukherjee. He is an heritage and adventure specialist and also speaks English and Japanese. So he has the distinction of being the only heritage guide of India to climb the Mount Everest, and that too as the oldest Indian mountaineer to climb from the difficult Tibetan side, so that the coveted peak to that coveted peak, like it's a uh, epitome of any mountaineer to kind of look up and scale the highest peak. So, congratulations, Devabrata for this achievement. And really, it was today only I got to know about this feat, and I'm very glad that our IITGs. I have been not only on the ground but also on the highest peak of India, flying this flag of Ministry of Tourism and IITGs. And Mr. Devabrata Mukherjee is the only international sorry, he has also been with this apex body of mountaineering UIAA train adventure guide. That's again a big distinction, especially when we are looking at foreign expeditions and where they have standards for mountain guides, etc. I'm very sure that UIAA distinction would always kind of keep him uh, away, keep him in the distinguished list of guides. And he has also got a lifetime gold medal, national awardee of the Indian mountaineering, and is an active guide and also selector and mentor of the national monitoring team. So with this, I would now open the web space for the presentation. And before that, I would also invite Mr. Ajay Singh, who is spearheading this from the IITG side, to say a few words, and then Devabrata Mukherjee can take over. Thank you.
Um, Ajay sir, could you please unmute yours?
Thank you, Venkatesan sir, and all the viewers. Actually, this is the 34th episode of the 75 Destination with Tour Guides. It was a wonderful initiative of the Ministry of Tourism under the series of the Dekho Apna Desh. And it's also gave the big impact. Now, these webinars which we are organizing on this platform, it is becoming very popular. And during the tours, even this is the study material for the tour guides, and also this is a very good information for the travelers. Always we choose the best guide for that destination. So this time Himalaya. So how we can the forget the Devuda, who is pride of the Tourist Guides Federation of India. He is also a joint secretary of the Tourist Guide Federation of India. uh, I'm president since the last 4 years, but the Devuda is a joint secretary. He's performing there as well wonderfully, and he's leading the IMF, the team, Indian Mountaineer Foundation team, and it's wonderful that always he lead everywhere, even in the guide community, in mountaineering region, everywhere. He is the person who he the only guides who climb the Mount Everest, as the Venkatesan sir already mentioned. Even out of 7 peaks of the Europe, 6 is owned by Debuda, but only one is I think left, and it was due to the crisis of the fund, and we are trying our best that if we will the collect the fund, Debuda will own that seventh peak as well. So Debuda is gem of the tourism industry, and here the series which was started by our ma'am Rupinder Brar ma'am, now we are continuing here with our team. Motosi is always here. R.K. Suman sir always here. Now Venkatesan sir, who is the most experienced person in my knowledge in the ministry. So he also joined us. It's wonderful. Now the Debuda stage is yours. You are pride of the tourism fraternity. Lead us, lead us, lead us.
Good morning, all, and thank you, Mr. Dattatraya Venkatesan and Ajayji. And of course, I must thank the whole DAD DECO Apna team, Amrit Mahotsav of 75 years of our independence. And I'm really feeling proud that I am here for the second time to talk about the Himalayas. I'm not going to, you know, tell a lot about the Himalayas in this. Once again, I must thank the all other dignitaries, like as Ajayji already thanked them. After climbing Everest, in fact, all my brain cells, quite a lot of them died, and so I forget the names, etc. But this time I try to remember. Especially, I always remember our, ex editor man, Mr. Rupinder Bar, and now our, he was in Calcutta too, DDG Shimonji. So I must thank all of you to give me the chance to present a part of my life. Yes, I always say Himalaya is, I'm a guide there. I earn money for that. But Himalaya is my passion. It's Himalaya, we always call it's an irresistible call of the mountains. We have so much danger in that place. So much, that every step you can see that you can encounter the ultimate. But still, when we go to the mountain, we always feel like, oh, this is the last time we are coming. But whenever we are coming back to the base camp or the other side, we think that, okay, uh, maybe one more time, maybe this peak or that peak, which you can see. And once we are back in the train towards our home station, we start planning for our next expedition. So it's a call of irresistible lifetime call, which you cannot deny, in fact. So I talked about the Himalayas, the possibilities of various adventure sports in my last talk, in I think that episode. But in this one, I promised that time that I will show something of what the real, why we go to the Himalayas, what brings us to the Himalayas time after time. It's the call of the unknown. It's a call of something that, which everybody feels that when you just, try to learn something, if there is everything is learned or everything is you are going by somewhere from your, suppose you are going to a city by train, you know the train time, you know that when the which platform the train will come, everything. But if you are going outside somewhere we have never been, then you have to study a lot. Then it's a joy is for seeing everything is new to you, and especially when you know that there are places where you could be the first human being. Your footprint could be the first human footprint. Maybe some birds were there, maybe some wild animals were there, and high Himalayas, those were not there too. So Himalaya is the place where you can feel like you are the Columbus or you are like all those old people like Amundsen or all other explorers. And you can be the explorers. It's not only in the high Himalayas, there are many places in the Himalayas, in the jungles, in the forest, in the lowlands of the Himalayas, or in the trekking routes, a little beyond, you can find those. So it's till say in 2005 and 6, I was going to the peak and climbing the peaks, leading the our club teams and national team as well. But suddenly in 2007, I was told by one of my friends here, who was my student there too, to find out a route. He was trying to find out a route which is given as the the story of the mythological story. I think that you have heard, if you have been to Kedarnath or Badrinath, you have heard that story that there was only one priest used to worship in both the temples. He used to commute between these temples, Kedarnath and Badrinath. You know how far we take? We take about 1.5 days to go from Kedarnath to Badrinath. And if you take this walking, etc., etc., not by this route, but there could be one shorter route, shortcut through the high mountains, which is possible for that time. It's the time of the Mahabharata because of temple of Kedarnath. During the Mahabharata, it said the story goes that the Pandavas, after killing their cousins, they did a very big sin. So they were told to touch the Mahadeva, the Lord Shiva himself, to get purified. So finally, they found that Lord Shiva also, tried to hide, and he took the disguise of a buffalo and grazing in the Himalayas. And finally, him tried to catch that buffalo, and he ate entered in the mountain uh, ground there. Only the back portion that Bhima could catch, and that's the back portion is the Kedarnath temple. There are Panchakedars or 5 Kedars are there, and out of them, the various places, the various parts of the Shiva's, the buffalo's body came up, like in the Madhmasha, the middle part came up, and finally in Kathmandu, in Pashupatinath, the head came up. So these 5 Kedars and Pashupatinath together is very, very important for the Shiva devotees to go. So that our first goal was to find that route, and they thought it could be to the Panpatia Glacier, which is just quite nearby from Badrinath to Madhmasha, that route, and then crossing that. And that in 2007, we found that means not found, we discovered that route. Maybe it's from the priest, we don't know. But we found that route in 2007 from Badrinath to through Panpatia Col, Panpatia glaciers, upper and lower, and then to Kashnikal and Madhmasha released. And I must be, I am proud to tell you that now this Panpatia trek route is one of the most famous, coveted, and a little bit technically route for the high altitude trekkers of India and even from the outside. So every year now, more than 7 or 8 treks, people go through that Panpatia route. You can search for that one, you can find that one. However, this after that, I read about that is, in fact, in 1934, before climbing the Nanda Devi, Shipton and Tillman, they were just moving around in this area, the watersheds of this area, to find out various routes. And they wanted to go from Badrinath to Kedarnath, and they did from Badrinath via Sotapant Glacier. You know that the Sotapant Tal is there from Badrinath if you are trekking. They climbed the till Sotapant Col between Chokamba and Shipton Peak, named after Shipton. After that, by Swargarohini. Swargarohini is the place where Yudhishthira with his 4 brothers and the dog Draupadi went up to the heaven, it says. Swargarohini are the steps to heaven. Actually, the ice fall looks like that is the steps. So through that they went up and then they jumped on the other side to uh, Gandarpongi Valley, the forest. They lost in the forest for 10 days, didn't find the route, came out to Maud Maheshwar, half dead or nearly dead, and that's their expedition stopped. Later, back in 1998 and then 2000, I think, one then, it was Mr. Martin Moran. Uh, he just did that route, but not to Gandarpongi, quite similarly, and not climbing that ice fall directly, a side route up to the Parvati, and then he went up by the side higher routes instead of going inside the forest and reach Kedarnath. So I wanted to do that opposite trekking, That's back in 2009 with 10 more people. Uh, we did that, started from Kedarnath, went in Gandharvangi forest, crossing the Mandani Bugyal, etc., Shatapant Tal, Shatapant Call, etc. And finally, we reached the. We also got lost in the forest for 10 days. Not lost. It was the forest. It was terrible forest. Maybe someday I will show it sometime. The primitive forest, nobody went there. What is primitive forest? You can't imagine, just even if I say, is the trees, they grow, they get bigger, then they die and just lie down there, fall down. Insects of various types, water, the, splashes on that from various rivers, and the leaves, they get rotten. So even the leaves, it's like the quicksand, you can get drowned inside the leaves. So we got only in a full day of 13 hours walk could take us only 200 meters walking. You can't imagine what is that kind of trails are. So that's another exploration. So in 2009 we did that, and finally we did the Panpatia call again, and then we jumped to that Shatapantal side through Sagarini, and that time one dog accompanied us, and we came through that. With that dog also, I carried that one on my shoulder sometime, and we came to Badrinath. We thought that the exploration will take 22 days, but finally we finished in 53 days, that exploration. Everybody thought we are dead. So we came back from that one. Then again in 2013, before that in 2012, I thought, why not try the other route, a little more straighter from Badrinath to Kedarnath? And if we want to do that one, then we have to do the Chokamba call and then Gangotri call and Kedarnath. I will show you the map later. So that in 2013, we wanted to do that. I will come to the Chokamba history a little bit later. So how it looks like, the first crossing of Chokamba call, you can see the first slide over here. It's the is the entrance to east from the Badrinath side to Bhagirath Kharak Glacier from Badrinath. It looks like that. You can see how it looks like the climbing. The lower, that's you can see that these are known as the Bakshun, or the last crevasse after the glacier finish and the wall of the mountain starts. The accumulation zone it calls is during that time when the first, the person went it off. His name is C.F. Mead. That time it was not like that in back in 111 years back in 2012. Sorry, 1912. It was C.F. Mead first went there. And on the other side, exit in the west on the Gangotri Glacier, this looks like that. So just behind this, it is like that on the other side to get down in that. And you can't get down from here without that. So you have to get down through this icefall. This is the Chokamba 1 peak, we can see. So how the map looks like. So coming to that, it is Badrinath over here, Badrinath, and Kedarnath is just opposite side. So there's a possible straight line is this one. Before that, the Panpatia glacier is below down a little bit, and then we crossing the Yambu Col and the Bishali Col, etc. We reached over here. But now we wanted to do this route, and it's much more tough that any kind of expedition, mountaineering expedition, because you have to climb those kind of walls and up to 6,053 meters, that's about 20,000 feet, this Chokamba call. And Gangotri call yet to be, climbed. I will tell you why we couldn't do that one that time. We did the Chokamba call only. So this is that, this Bhagirath Khala Glacier goes that way, Bhagirathi or Bhagirath Khala Glacier, is Shatapan Glacier, and this goes down the Gangotri Glacier. This is Gomukh, and Gangotri went up that way. And this Tapovan, generally people cross so far the between Gangotri and Badrinath. People go through a very famous pass. If you're a trekker, you know that's known as the Kalindi Pass. And that over here, you go through this Chaturungi Glacier and cross this Kalindi Khal or Kalindi Pass, get down to here or whatever area, and then you come down to Ghastali and comes down to Mana and Badrinath. So coming down to the history, in some lines, in 1912, legendary British mountaineer Mr. C.F. Mead wanted to reach Kedarnath and Badrinath. But what he did is he rode that Bhagirath Kharak Pass. But he risked this base camp after a day hike. He could see the Gangotri Glacier. That time it was possible to reach the top of the Chokamba col in one day and come back. he reached in 7 hours and came back in another 3 hours. So just think about the global warming and the portion of the snow melted. After that, in fact, in 1931, in 1930, when C.F. Mead, sorry, Frank Smythe first time the comet. He wrote the book Comet Concord. The first mention of Chokamba call came in that book, and he wrote that C.F. Mead went up there. And later in the book, Approach to the Hill, C.F. Mead wrote about that. And later in 1936, there's another guy who wrote that book. He has taken, C.F. Mead took the photo of Greek climber Alexander Hain to show the first photo of Chokamba. That's the only photo I had before going to Chokamba. There was no other photo. So C.F. Mead, he went up to the Chokamba, stood there, looked towards the Gangotri and came back. After that, in 1934, the most famous and my idols, Sifton and Tillman, they could not recognize the hidden rock ice galley which was taken by C.F. Mead, and they came out. Okay, they came down from there. They could not reach. 84, the Himalayan Club, they tried to go from the Gangotri Glacier side. They went up to the base of that and then went back. Then what's happened? This is the photo of the Alexander Hin that he took this photo from this, they call it the Deudakani. That's on the other side of the Chokamba. This is Chokamba 1. That time they used to call this peak as the Badrinath peak. In fact, they make the mistakes of saying the Balakun as some other peak like that. So this is the route how it looked like in 1936. You can see there is no, it's a kind of slope. Though here is that the ice fall there, but see the ice cover in the Chokamba once, and the avalanches that time too used to come down so much. So what this is should be the normal route for Chokamba called the AAA route. But what Mead did, Mead did this DDD route. This is the Mead route. So this one couldn't be taken by uh, Sipton and Tillman. And later, 1995, the Himalayan Club under Harish Kapadia, they went to do that one. They also went up to this point and they went down, came down. They couldn't go up more than that. And some other team they tried to. In 1995, in fact, it was a British team led by Mr. Simon Earsley. They reached uh, Chokamba 1 southwest ridge. They're at the top of the Chokamba call because they wanted to climb the Chokamba. They came from this Gagut side too, but they came down because they didn't cross. There's a Picks and Passes books there. And as I said, and then in 2013, after 101 years after the Mead's visit of Chokamba call, I just, with my team, I wanted to add, it was a new chapter in the Himalayan exploration we added, crossing from Badrinath to Gangotri, Chokambakol, and we called this expedition or the expedition a mountaineering pilgrimage because that was done from Badrinath to Kedarnath, that to Gangotri and Gomukh, and crossing the whole length of Gangotri Glacier, one of the longest glacier in the India. So that's our route finally it came. We started from Mana, and this is the Bhagirath Glacier in Chokamba call we crossed, and then the whole entire length of Gangotri Glacier we crossed. We didn't cross this Gangotri call because for some accidents we had. So this is our members. It was difficult to find the members for this kind of exploration. You will find many people they like to climb the peaks, but not for this exploration because of the two or three main things. One is that is people think that is there is no the certainty that we'll cross that because the exploration we fail. Sometimes we fail. There is no way of going up. Even the peak expedition happens. Then second thing for my exploration and expeditions, what I do, I don't take the Sherpas and guides. I try to use our own resources, means just by ourselves, we open the route and the guide, or another member of my the we just open the route, not following the Sherpas and guides, their footprints, they make the hole by their boots and we'll follow that, zooming up the fixed rope. That's not my style. We do it by ourselves because I'm a guide. So I do that one, and my team I teach them, as I mentioned now, the national teams and children from various parts of India, the mountaineers, I teach them how to the open the routes, etc. So this Biplab Boito, I found him. He was with me in Satnadar, and also he was with me in Mount Everest later in 2014. And we both climbed. He lost 5 fingers in Everest, and later in 2017, he died in Kanchenjunga. While climbing Kanchenjunga, he died there. So I miss him very much. Then it's Biman Bishwas. He was then only 29 years old. Uh, he was a combat commando of ITBP forces. He's still there. And later, while climbing Dholagiri, during rescuing one mountaineer of his team, he lost his right palm, the full palm, no fingers there. In left, he has got only the thumb and the little finger left. In toes also he lost. A very good mountaineer and very strong climber. And he does sport climbing, that is, the artificial wall climbing. And now he's in para sport climbing, para climbing, that is for the physically challenged people. And he is representing India and ITBP in international, though he don't have it. This is the kind of people you need in the mountains. And here is Parthasharthi Maulik working in that uh, port trust, and very good sense of humor. He never cooks at home. When I show it to his wife says, "Oh, that's he should frame it and hang it." He never cooks at home, but while in the mountain he cooks too. And Ritabodha Shah, he is working with the IT department. Now he is in Dubai working. A very young guy. I remember he said that after that expedition, this is my last one. I won't go anymore. And again, in last winter, we went to Ladakh. He helped in the rescue of one person there too. And again, in last month only, just I think some days back, we went to Ladakh for climbing one Virgin Peak, and we did that too. And these are my support team. uh, Devram and other one cook. They used to work with me. They are the cook and cook helper. And Kirtan Raghuvid, they are the HAP or high altitude porters, because we have to carry a lot of equipment. So I need some. We carry everybody as member. We carry about 25 kilos, etc. So we need people to carry, because this is a expedition for 16 days long, and we need a lot of food, lot of equipment, tents, and whatnot. So we need those. And this is our cook that time, Kamal Singh. They were all from near Uttarkashi on the way to, Gangotri. Nearby Uttarkashi they stay. Some from Maneri, some from Agoda. And this picture is from actually from our exploration in 2009 when we were lost in the forest. They collected the mushroom, and we had to rely on these mushrooms. The cooked, they know about the mushroom, so we collected this mushroom. So we had to add this boiled mushroom with only chili powder that we had. So I just love these people, and they were with me. And of course, it's me. You can see the rucksack on the back, and some more things hanging from my waist, from the harness, etc. And far away, you can see the peak comet, etc. That's as a leader, we go there. So finally, on 16th May 2013, the day of Kshetra Tritiya and the Badrinath temple was opening. We didn't go to the temple. We simply went to this place, Mana village, and stayed in the school. I must say that I am lucky that IMF, or Indian Mountaineering Foundation, our apex body, gave me the chance that time, together with my exploration, I can continue and help this, uh, the physically challenged children from one school of Calcutta to take for the high altitude trekking physical challenge student. I was aboard. In fact, I work with them. I take them to the mountains. I take them to the rock climbing. This, I must say, these people or these children, these physical challenges are really God gifted. These are the gifted children. They might not have the eyes. They are blind, and some other way they are physically challenged, but they can do more than us, I can tell you. So I took them up to the base camp of the Chokamba um, expedition base camp. In that, for 3 days, they trekked with us, and we were really happy to have them with us. So 17th May, we have the last minute packing, repairing, and checking off all the gears. We are doing the things, checking last time for our ration. This is another very important thing because we have to carry everything by ourselves, maybe another 3 4 persons. So we must be very careful to what to carry and what not to. You can see this small butane gas. That's our cooking gas in the mountains. Every day, one gas cylinder we have to, because we can't carry many things till the base of Chokamba call. Sorry, this Chokamba peak that we had some porters, local porters, 5 low altitude porters. After that, we are on our own. We have to carry for 9 days. We have to do everything by ourselves. So just before starting with the children and the whole team, and then crossing this Bhim pool, we call it, on the way to Bushudara Tal. Our first test route is like that. This taken from the Google Earth. This one, the Mana village, and this Alkapuri is known as. And here is the Bushudhara, the falls there. And then we'll continue through that. This is actually the top of the other peaks you can see. You can see that side below. And later we'll go to the Camp 1 on 2013 day 1. Our trek will be like that. So we started around 10 o'clock. The first day's trek generally take time. We started, we divided into 2 parts. Myself, Diman, and with one porters, or the porters they followed me, and some others they started before us and they went up to Bushudara Falls over here, and later they came us and joined us. Still the greenery is there, and this is the Bushudara Fall on the right side, as you know, if you go to Badrinath, and in front of us we can see just in straight. This way goes the Bhagirath Glacier, our route. That way goes the Shatapant Glacier, Shatapant Kadok, and behind is the Balakun. Chokamba could not be seen from here. So we continued. Balakun could be seen peeping behind, and Nilkantha is showing a little bit. We had our first day camp in this place after walking for about 4 hours, which is there. And that shows the GPS. You know that in the mountain we use various kind of gadgets. Nowadays the GPS, or global positioning system, is the most helpful thing to find yourself, find your route, marking the route, and how much you have come, everything. And also they have reloaded, preloaded maps are there. And later after coming back, you can load it to the computer. It's really helpful. Nowadays, this is a very old model, and this is Vista, but the new models, they're colorful and they have got everything. You can take even photos in some of them. So second day, the first day and the second day morning, we could see behind that if we go down, look down towards the Mana village, you can see that the Nor Parbat, the Nor and Narayan, sorry, Narayan Parbat, Nor and Narayan, these are the two peaks you can see up there. So before starting, we are getting ready in the morning. We had 3 tents, in fact, till there. This tent is with me and Biman and the others. For 3 person, they used to stay in the tent, and then it's the porters used to stay in another tent. Our secondary route, 19th May, it followed from here, and we continued with that. 19th May from that side is by the side of this glacier will continue, and in Bhagirath Glacier will enter from the this is a junction of the Satapan Glacier and Bhagirath Glacier. And the last plant we have seen is the rhododendron plant. It was still in May, so rhododendrons are there. We continued. There are two ways, two possible ways were there. One is up here and the lateral moraine, and other one through the glacier. So myself with 2 brothers, we followed the up, and some of them and the children they went through this to the base camp and they went back. The children and the main team we went up there. So soon after going inside, we continued and we reached just opposite to Nilkantha Peak. This is Nilkantha, and then the Parvati Peak there. Back in 2009, we came down through this to Surajkundi near Shatapantal. After crossing during the Kedarnath to Bodhi opposite crossing, we came down through this wall. In 2 days, staying hanging on the route for 2 days means totally open bivouac. That means no tents, nothing, no sleeping bags. We just stayed there, and that too with a dog. We did that. So down there It's the people there walking. Maybe found this. These are the people there walking to the glacier. Some people here, and we came up to that. Finally, we reach our second day camp, the Chokamba base. Means the people who go to climb Chokamba peak, they have their base camp over here. Still some snow we had. After reaching the base camp, we went up, and then we went to to see that the next day's walk is the Chokamba base. Height is 3898 meters. You can see 3898 meters, this one, and there's a position, Chokamba base called, base camp. And this is the magnificent Nilkanta. This side was only tried by the climbed by the Japanese ones, and nobody climbed. Mostly people climbed from this west ridge, that one. And this is a north face of Chokamba. Far away, you can see the Balakun peak. And then we came up to that after the lunch, after having some food. The same day we came ahead and we tried to find a route. We find that this side there is no more the moraine route. Lateral moraine is only that slides from the peak like this. So we have to go down to the the glacier. In the glacier, walking on the supramoraine or the moraine or the boulder debris over the river of ice that accumulates from the side walls is difficult. It's ups and downs. So we have to go on the other side somehow and follow this snow line, but there is a possibility of the avalanches coming down from it because it's spring. So always the spring avalanches there means the accumulated snow of winter that get melted and comes down. So we have to be very careful while going through this site. So next day, our photo is like this. We just crossed to find out a possible line, how to cross this. We followed this line and came on the other side to have a camp 3 over here. And so this is first we have to go down to the glacier to one the Moraine Gully, and this is really difficult because all these boulders are once you step it's falling down, and it was really difficult for us. Sometimes we were tumbling, rolling with the rocks and came down. We crossed this glacier and finally reached on the other side to find this snowfield. So while on the snowfield, we have to rope up. And as I say, the spring avalanches is always comes down. So we have to go through this. You can see these are the debris. This is the debris of the avalanches coming down. So avalanche is coming down from all sides. And far away we can see the Jannukit peak, the Jannukut or the Jannukut. And you can see that every 5 minutes or maybe 10 minutes, one avalanche is coming down and we have to cross that one. So we reached a place and then we roped up because there are crevasses too. So to while you walk on the crevasse field on the glacier, that is the main thing for a guide and for the people who go for the trekking. Whenever you walk on the glacier, apparently it could look plain, but there could be hidden crevasses. So always go roped up. That's the safety reason you must do. And so Biman and me just taking the front with roped up, and later others followed and we reached a place where we had the tent for the day. You can see that the campsite, and we stayed there. And the Garmin shows that it's 4302 meters, so about 200 meters we gained. And it's beautiful lake. It was a beautiful lake just by these are the glacial lakes or the glacial turns. It's a lake, I would say, not a turn. Turn are smaller. So this glacial lake, melted water of the glacier, they accumulated over the glacier. So underneath is pure ice. It's crystal clear water, blue, and that's beautiful lakes are there. But just above us, the camp, these were the hanging as a part of the ice falls, and these are just sending avalanches towards us. So we had to be very careful about how to, this where to put our camps or tents. And so we had to go a little bit away from that. In the middle of the glacier, we had the tents. And then is all my, as a little bit laid back members. They had all the slippers, etc. They were just having sunshine, drying their shoes and other dresses, and me working, as I said. So it's a fun, we said, but everybody works there. So it's the fourth day, we have to reach the base of the Chokamba Peak. This is a Chokamba Peak, and that will be our route. So we have to reach over there in this place. So it's a long walk, and this place is Deudakani, where from this Alexander Him took the photo. in 1936. So next day, our walk, it was not very straight. We have to go up and down on the glacier, and sometime going up. This is me, and then Biman, we were leading all the time, and then the main team is were the another three members. That is Biplab, Rito, and Partho. They were in the second rope, and in the third rope, the other four uh, our HPs. So between, that is our tent. They are still loading, and we are following. And these are the beautiful lakes down there. Is a Narayan Parbat, and you can see is that the avalanches are coming down. So we had to come through that, checking that one avalanche is gone. So we'll get 15 minutes. So he ran past this area and again continued. And these are the beautiful lakes we have to follow because they're slippery. If you go inside the lakes, you are totally gone. And that's the route to follow the glacier, the Bhagirath Glacier. And finally, we could see the Chokamba 1 peak. This is Chokamba 1 peak, this is the Balakun, and that's how it looks like now. So this is, if we want to go easily, it should be this route, but this is impossible to go through this. And always this avalanche is coming down, so it is impossible to go. So we have to follow the DDD route, which is the just by the side of that. This is the holes. It was not there in the Alexander Hill's photo. So we found that one. So we came up slowly. The next members, other members coming up. And we finally reached our camping site, just about 200 meters away. We put up two tents. Now here we have the three tents. Finally, the two member tents and one HAP's tent. The low altitude petters who were carrying the stoves, rice, etc., till here, they left us. And after this, we'll be only, having, survive on noodles, means, the Maggie or those kind of stuff, and soup and Maggie, and maybe some chocolates, those kind of dry fruits. Those are our only food for next 9 days. The Diwan camp, as it is written D, the Diwan camp is 4723 meters, just under this Chokama peak. And that will be our route, the first day's route. You can see that is the main route, and this is the DDD route. So this is the debris. It's every, I say always, this through this runnel, it's not only a kind of funnel looking, it's a runnel, always the avalanche and the water coming down. So we have to climb these rocks. So we climb these rocks first, have a anchor here, cross this one as fast as possible, and then climb this side, and then continue this, then traverse here to go for the first rest kind of thing. It's about 3 hours. So after reaching in noon, in the afternoon, we fixed up the route over here. In the afternoon, we went up. We started fixing up ropes and giving the ropes here, the myself belaying, and Biman started opening the ropes. And so this will be our route, the first day route. Our first day camp route, our plan was to go up to here. But what's happened, I will tell you, these are 6 days, this is the fifth day, and this is the one camp. We have a 5A camp, and this is a 5B camp. We got separated, and then our route will be to Chokamba, will be like this. We'll cross this one to come down, because to avoid these avalanches, is the tons and tons of ice blocks and snow blocks will come down here. Every time it's coming down, and we can't go this through this. So we took this, detour to go up to this Chokamba Fall. And so next day we followed this route. You can see already Biman is up here. Biman is here, and I think Debram is belaying him. And because see, up to this the rope was fixed the other day, and then we'll continue with that. Then I will go up and help Biman. So this is the other people are going. I think myself is somewhere here because already gone. No, this is me. Other porters, the HAPs, they need to go first and leave the loads and come down to take the other loads. It's not possible to, in one shot, take all the loads up there. So we are doing that. You can see this. We have to climb this rock. But what's happened? When I reached there already, the rope is jib jack. You can see from here the ropes going on. The ropes are going on from here and then climbing here. But when I reach here, one of the pitons, it was here in fact, it fell down. And I simply swing and came up to here, and I cut my, the chin. A lot of blood came out, it doesn't matter. I put some snow on that and then started again. And then found the rope bent zigzag, so I have to go and climb a little bit harder climb to put the rope back and does the piton again. And there, here is the runnel. So always the the water coming through down there, very soft snow and water inside. So we have to run and jump and really cross this pass very quickly. So here, how we more climbing going on. Okay, this is me now. You can see, and this is going on there. So finally, this man waiting, and we are some porters over here, and sorry, yes. So we are crossing that first cross done, and this the climbing starts again on the rocks. And here from that place, that where we are doing that after that rock place, here one person, here is second person, third person, and here is our tent. Some people and Kamal is sitting there, so the three other halves will go down and collect all the gears and come up. And now I started, the leading. And here is some people, they took the photo. There's the other side of the rock. They're waiting. And here we are climbing up to go up to there, and then we'll start traversing. And how the gradient. And here is we are fixing up the ropes so that the people can, climb. The later people, they can come and Jumar. Jumar is a device which, clips with the rope. It can only go up. So if you are harnessed and that Jumar is tied with you, you put on that rope and you can only, push it up, and then it can take your weight. So you can go one step by one step. You can go up, and then this one is after leaving the stuff over here in this place. Not all the members were there. They're waiting because there is only the climbing ropes are finished. Sorry, the fixed rope, the climbing ropes are yet to come. So other members, they come one by one. They will wait here. Myself and Biman, we continued to open the route. This is myself and Biman continuing with the rope. Sorry, this is my here. Myself and Biman going, and others are still going up. They will come over here, wait, and go up. So this is me. I took the photo of Biman coming up. There are other members coming up. Sorry, moment. But, it's a little bit of there. So other members are coming up. So in fact, I just waited for them to come up. In fact, I was showing you that 5A. That place they came up to. That is the place they waited and came up there. And then it's me. That is who. Uh, sorry, it's. I can continue talking. Just hold on a second, please. Yes, please. Just then it's happened. That is. The others came out, but they didn't have the rope. So what they did, they just had to stay over there the night. And Biman and me, we continued and we finished our, we stopped at a place which we called a 5B, in fact. So 5B camp, we just 5B camp, we stayed, and 5A camp they stayed. So we got separated, in fact, and it's getting too heavy. That's why it's taking the. Sorry, I know I'm taking a little bit. It takes time to finish that route. So this still, when we reach there, we still find that these people are waiting down here. So I must go a little bit faster, otherwise it's taking time. So they had to stay over here in this 55-degree slope. They hang their, the tent this way. They tied the tent on the top, half portion out, hanging, and if they step up a little bit, this way, that way, they can fall down some there. And this is the view from their tent in the afternoon, how it looks like from there. This is afternoon sunset. They had to stay there. And this is where we reached. Myself and Biman found that from the DED route, the avalanches came from there, and we had to place our tent in a way in a middle portion so that the avalanche cannot reach us. So we put our tent in this, and how it looks like. Myself and Biman, we carry. So in expedition, you carry, as I say, about 25 kilos each. So this is my rucksack and this Biman rucksack, and this is our the things we have on our harness and the rope, etc. And here is 5131 meter that we reached on that camp. And here is how it looks like from there down on the Satapan Glacier. And we took a kind of a selfie from there with the camera. That time the camera selfies, mobile selfies were not there and no mobile phones. So this is how, in the afternoon it was quite warm, though it's about 70,000 plus meters. The next day's thing was it's here is at the 5A camp. This is our, sorry, 6A camp. 6 days route. This is our camp. We stayed. Other members were staying here, and myself with Biman, we went up to here and had our camp on the other side. The other, they came up to here. It's too soft snow, so they went back. So next day we are getting ready. The porters, they came up with the luggage. They stayed up here and they went back. And it's how it looks like, that how we have to walk. They went up to here and they went down to the 6B camp to stay there. These are the looks. We're going up, and it's from their camera. And this is the first look of the Chokamba call, how it looks like when you just got that the DD ridge, we call it. We crossed it, and we find this is Chokamba call, how it looks like, with a cornice, with straight wall, concave wall, glacier, and then the ice wall, and then always the avalanches coming down from there. It's 5420 meter we reached that day, and that's myself and Biman. We stayed there, and this is over there. These two are very nice things. I think I must have a very good picture of this thing. At the top of Chokamba or the Badrinath peak, there are two stone steps. The two stone flats are there, which looks like the slippers, or we call the koroma, the wooden slippers of Lord Vishnu, is known as the Charan Paduka. So this is the first look of Chokamba call, how it looks with our tent. Two of us we stayed there, the other members they stayed back. And from our inside the tent is Chokamba. Yes, this is that. These are the two, wooden sleepers, or we call the khorom. In fact, here, these are the wooden sleepers of Lord Vishnu of the Badrinath. So, is the top of Chokamba. It looks like that. Is known as the Charan Paduka. Nobody goes there, and the avalanche is coming down always from that side. Yes, more avalanches, and this is the route we have to follow to go there and climb this. That's when we looked at it, it's really some shiver went down the spine, but we smiled at each other and said we have to do it. And it's how we do after reaching there, living our. These are the things we carry in our, the West. We just looked at it. You can see this is we have to cross. This is the west ridge of Chokamba, and this is the cornice, means the overhanging. And in snow, it's not the rock that you can hang and climb. So we have to do something, and it might fall anytime. These are the whole bakshun or the last crevasse, which is wide and very dangerous, in fact. So that's the view, the closer view of Chokamba, the Chokamba call, 6053 meters. In fact, we read in the book of Mead that he also took these side walls little bit. And finally, we thought of, okay, we have to climb the side walls. We can't climb here. So we have to cross this Bakshund, which is hidden over here. In fact, so we have to cross this Bakshund, climb there, traverse it, climb a little bit of the rocks, and then we climb this way. And finally, we cross the Chokamba call from here, 70 meters above that. And that's a straight wall we have to climb. So the 6B date, they came up from 6A to 6B. We waited here. Is that a day 7 walk? And then together with the full team, we came down to this glacier, keeping on the right side, so the Jannukut side, not the Chokamba side, because the avalanche is coming down and is all crevasses on the glacier. We continued. In the morning, it's myself and Viman. We are getting ready for the day. It was because the other part of the team, they will come down from the other side. They will take time. So we are getting ready with all this. You see that we carried, Viman and myself carried all this stuff. So you can understand the load we carried during expedition. And this is one person's, this is mine, this is one person's, what we carry in our the waist means this belt we put on the harness, and then this equipment, various equipment, this ice screws, the frames, and then rock hammer and the ice hammer, is all the stuffs we hang, carabiners, a pulley, a jumper or the rope man, whatever. The other team, when they arrived here, we are already fixed up the rope for going down the gully. And finally, we started going down the gully. We came down the gully and we are on the Chokamba's main glacier. And you can see again the side of the Choran Paduka is a close look, and how beautiful these cornices. They look beautiful, but the most dangerous stuff. And time to time, this other team, this is myself and Viman and one porter going up. And this is the other team. They were tired because they came longer than us. So they were tired. And here walking means it's too difficult because there are rocks, and time to time is you are going inside some about till west, and you have to come up through that to beat that. So always this, and the avalanche is coming downside, so to wait is really. So we went up there, not to the down there because the crevasses, and Chokamba was in front of us, the wall of Chanukut. So finally about 3:30 we reached a place where we had to stop for the camp. The side is 5623, and first time is that our HAPs, they got it angry because no the rest for them. So next day we just declared a rest day for the HAPs, the porters, and one of our member Ritoboto, because he has got a developing a blister, and rest of us, we went up, we started walking. The morning was beautiful with Kamet here and then Mukut here. All these peaks you can see, and then Kamit, Bigamin, and Mukut, this Varshati, all these peaks are there. And here is our 7-day walk. We just ferried the load up to here and came down. So we went up there. These are the people that, sorry, once again, this is, my fingers going in wrong place, and this is going, sorry for the late. Quickly through these places, and so we had that. So we kept our load, tossing a bakshun, 2 bakshuns in fact, and left our load there, and came back. Next day morning, it was went up there to leave our loads after climbing this, and then we came back. On the way coming down, when we came down, a big avalanche came just straight towards the tents, and lucky that we could our tents were intact and we could stay. Yes, we stayed in the tent again. Next day was the D-Day, that is 26 May, day 9, and we had to cross this Chokamba call. Our load was here, extra loads. And you can see here 3 crosses. One cross here, stops there. I have a story. So one person fell from here, Patto fell down, stopped. Kamal fell down later, and he stopped here, but the luggage, the rucksack fell up to here. People had to come down and collect the luggage and went up. So it was a big accident, and we were lucky that we could manage. And the other side, after coming the Chokamba call, we didn't find any route as told by Mead or in the Google Earth. It doesn't look like that. It's not look like this at all. So we have to come down, follow this, and we have to come down this way only. 26 and 27 May, there's a route. So I was leading, Biman was following me. It was a little bit misty. That was the bad weather day. Other days were so nice. The weather started bad. Perhaps you remember that 2013, that in Kedarnath, there was a very big mishap. Behind the Pushadaratal, that the wall broke and there was a big flood. A lot of people died. And it was the beginning of that calamity started that day, in fact. And we were in Gangotri Glacier at that time. So it's here, it's me, the leading, and the others, the porters, it is me, myself, and Biman, and then the other porters is taken by the second team. We have started already towards the call, and this is what I took the photo from the middle of the kind. Sorry, it's always getting a little bit disturbed here. It'll take a minute. So the middle of the call, I took this photo, and how it looks like the Chokamba from near. And then, in fact, I went up, and it looks like you know, how it looks like the Chokamba call, in fact, from the top. This is the call place. So we went up, we have to go down here, and this is windy, really windy, I must tell how windy it was. And this is the west ridge of Chokamba. This west ridge of Chokamba, where from Simon Yestler's team, they went back, and this is how it looks like. He was just below me, about 15 meters below, but straight below. And we reached Chokamakol, and just after us, the porters, they reached, but it was Biman, sorry, Pathodito, and this 6047 I recorded. It was really windy. So we have to be very, very careful. These are our porters. They're waiting here, their rucksack there, and then it's just coming down is Partho fell down, slipped, and Ritobroto, and there is a view. Is Partho fell down there? Is Ritobroto the Partho here? Ritobroto and Biplop, they saved him, and later the porters, they came down with the fixed rope. We didn't have the fixed rope before. They came down with the fixed rope, cut into three pieces. They went down, they saved Partho, but Komal fell down from there again, slipped, and he fell down about 100 meters. And finally, he could throw away his rucksack, which went down all the way and could stop only just before the big reverse. This is how they just went down. It was us we are trying to take out. So this is once again here the first fall done. Then they stopped their fall, then his Kamal fell down up to here, but the rucksack fell down here just before the crevasse, and they came down to collect the and went up there. And when Kamal fell down, he had got some, problem in his hand, so he had to give him a sling. These are five members. We're on the top of Chokamba call. We reached there, but crossing a pass or call is not just reaching that. We have to go down once again. So we have to come up there, and now we have to go down all the way to Gangotri Glacier. So, but here is a very special thing I talked about, that the natural calamity happened in the Kedarnath. So here we found this cloud. One cloud is trying to come out from the top of Chokamba, going inside the Gangotri Glacier, but the wind, the second wind, it's pressing it again towards Chokamba. So it is a fight going on between two pressures of two sides of the winds. And that is Chokamba 4, you can see. And that part of that pass, we have to cross making human chain because the wind speed was more than 140 kilometers. Single person cannot cross with the wind pressure more than 140 kilometers, because I have never seen that high wind except in the top of Everest during the natural calamity. So here, one by one, going down, and I myself was standing for about 7 hours so that my turn comes. And this is the gully we followed to go down. And finally, there's a for the knots. I fell down from here, going down the end, but somehow I survived. I could manage to stop my fall, and because I was taking down the rope, taking down all the rope towards that, and we had the finally. It was a long story. In fact, I fell down from here, stopped here somehow, then came down over here. We came down this route, and at night, by 20 to 55 hours, I reached the camp as the last person, bringing all the ropes with me, like a long tail. In between Patho, this fell down this in the dark. He fell in this. He was roped up, He fell in this bakshund and twisted his knee and torn ligaments. So next morning we went up to here to bring all the ropes. So it was about 17 hours of continuous journey to come down to this camp. And then we started again with the bad weather. Next morning, after bringing down the rope, we started again to go down. And that is that day. Our route is from here at the camp, and we have to come down through this ice fall and take this gully. We have to take this gully and come down because this is the ice fall. Avalanches are coming down, so we have to come this rock gully. So mostly how it looks like from the other side. In fact, from the Chokamba call, we came down through this, a gap is there, and through that gap we came down to this flat, and finally we came down behind this rock from there. So this is how it looks like, the ice fall. So I could not take any more photos in between. So we have to come down under the ice fall, this rock ice gully in the corner. That was our last. And next day, that's also another, about 15 hours. Is about 15 hours journey it was. So this going down is very, very difficult. So finally we came down to the Gangotri Glacier, and we could look back how it looks like next morning and in the evening. In fact, a big avalanche came down and stopped just over here, and we were lucky that we are still, alive, and I can tell this story to here. So how it looks like. I don't know why it is not going. It's maybe the oh, it is not opened in my this one, so it's just holding a second, please. I know I'm taking more time. Okay, okay, okay. So it's taking some difficult. So finally, we came down to Gangotri Glacier, and from Gangotri Glacier, it was Gangotri Glacier in 4 days. We had to come down. We thought that we'll cross the Gangotri Col, but we could not cross that col because of this injury of Partho, and also we were um, injury of Partho, and then also that we are running short of food because only 2 butane gases are left, and then the Partho lost his, had the ligament problem, so we could not cross the Gangotri Col there. So finally, we just came down to Gangotri. It's disturbing. Is maybe too much high loads on this. Please bring just yeah, I will get it now. Oh, this is I cannot open this one maybe. Yes. So that is the position of that in our Gangotri Glacier call, how the ice fall was closed. And then it started next morning, drying after the clothes, etc. Very fast towards this Yambuk, etc. And we reached uh, near the Khorchakund peak. Only after half a kilometer, I looked back because I was so scared of the avalanches coming down. We started, we walked very fast to come down. And I looked back how it looks like the Chokamba call from here. This looks like that from that side. The Niambuk, and this is like the place, the Gangotri call, that which I have a plan to go maybe next year. So this is how the Gangotri call looks like. So we have to climb this one to cross the Gangotri call over here. So maybe next slide you go. This peak of the nearby Shotapant, the peak. This is the Meru peaks and Shivling from the behind from this side. Kachakund, we had a camp. The weather started, to get worsening. We had a camp over there over the Gangotri call. It's really sometimes beautiful, but after some time, these are known as a glacial table, and glacial streams are there. So beautiful colors, nice rock pieces over the Kachakund. Looks like. And now our next camp was on Kirti Glacier near the Kedar Dome. And after that, we reached there. The Kedar Dome area is all kind of very known areas. So this is Kedar Dome Peak, and this we can see this Kedar Dome, this Kedarnath Peak. Behind is the Khorchakund over there. We are kind of safe, and we are going to reach our goal. We have managed to reach our. It was so cold in the night, so it happens that the sleepers got stuck with this big stone of about 6-7 kilos, and it's got stuck totally. I don't know, but like in very nice adhesive. And finally, we are up under sibling on the Topobone area. And to greet us first, the live, except us, except 9 of us, it was the Varal, the blue ship, a big one. We reached Topobone on 29th. And this is the whole team of us, and we met the tourists there, some Bengalis, and so far we were having only noodles, maggies, and soups, and they had some khichdi, and they fed us, and also the babas of Topobon, they fed us, but we were hungry like hell, so the babas, bhandaras were not enough. So these tourists from Bengal, they were happy to see us, and we are happy, more happy to see them, and they had some extra khichdi, so they offered us, and we were happy to have them is Tapabon. And from there, next morning, 31st May, the last day of our trek from Tapabon, we started in the morning with this Bhagirathi peaks, Bhagirathi 2 and 4 and 3. I climbed 2 and 3 both, 2 and 3 both. In fact, 3 is only climbed by us. It's also a great climb as with IMF and Pathayatra Club. And on that day, we from Tapabon. And this poor dog, it could not cross the river in Tapabon, so I made it to cross that. And behind us, the sibling, the most beautiful peak, after seeing which back in 1981 during my first trek to Gangotri Gamuk, I thought that I must do mountaineering. So this is the peak, Shibling and Meru. This is my most favorite peak, this one. And we started towards Gangotri, crossing Gamuk. And in the early morning, while crossing this small Akashganga, it was Bharglas, and Bimal finally, slipped and went inside the water and had a good dip in the ice cold water. So I told him that so far during climbing, you just scolded me like anything. I am elder than you, so he had did some sin. So that got washed up now. So this Akashganga is crossing again, helping some other tourists to cross. Gomuk now is very much, and behind is the Bhagirathi peak. And again, Ritabroto had to wash up his sin of, scolding me for bringing him in this expedition. He was of the shame, Bhujbasha and Rust. We reached Gangotri. And for that year in 2013, we got this Jagati's Nanavati Award for Excellence in Mountaineering from the Himalayan Club for the best expedition or exploration. And this is that one of the things that the mountains are there and we need to go back again. So thank you uh, all, and these are some random, the photos from that exploration. I must thank you all uh,
Yeah,
for watching me, and I took some extra time. And I hope that the joy and the adventures in exploration that would take people to a certain height, and it gives you the kind of confidence which is needed by everybody, that human can do everything. It might take some time. Thank you all.
yeah. Thank you, Devabrata ji, for this wonderful joy of exploration. Exploration. Actually, we could really feel being there virtually, or the way you kind of narrated and told the stories, especially at the Chokamba peak. And I'm glad that I could have the darshan of Charan Paduka through you sitting in Mumbai. So that's a real power of the webinars and virtual thing. And of course, the it also shows the kind of the endurance that you and your team have in terms of reaching the destination in spite of several kind of obstacles and things. It also a great life lesson, and I think a mountaineer kind of really is endured to do all this. Also, just one question: you've been kind of climbing in terms of equipment, especially for photography. Do the normal cameras work there, or you need some special cameras to work at that altitude? And also, is it required to climb the 6,000 feet, etc., with oxygen support, or do you do it without oxygen?
In fact, the second question I answered first, that is the oxygen case. Generally, in Indian Himalayas, we have though Kanchenjunga in our list, but still in Nanda B2, we don't need any oxygen. We climb, even in Everest, I climb till 7,600 meter without oxygen. And these are 6,000 meter peaks. We don't need oxygen. We don't go. We might lose a lot of brain cells for that without oxygen. And that's why I can't remember all the names and dates nowadays, mostly. And however, uh, that's what I say. And even on the top of Everest, I spend about 1 hour 20 minutes without oxygen, and that is not good, in fact. But that's what. Second thing, the camera. Now even this, the mobile cameras, they have got I think 20 MBs cameras are there, even 48 MBs cameras are there. The photo digital things are there, so it's easy. Most people, they carry the that those kind of Hero or some other companies cameras they carry, but I don't carry them. The normal cameras I have, and we carry those and take photo with the normal cameras, not that much, because we like to carry light cameras, not very heavy. Very cameras were there, but that could be carried by the people behind or with the porters. We have the support means, as I say, for that it's a 16 days expedition. So we needed to take some for carrying the foods, etc. But for the equipments and our own things and extra food, small gas cylinder, etc., that we carried by ourselves. So
Okay.
everybody was carrying about 25 kilos
Mhm.
loads.
One more question. India does not allow satellite phones, right? So you travel, you kind of do the expedition without any communication, or
I think when that raise this question is a very good platform to do that one, and I must request you to go with that one. The generally India doesn't allow the satellite phones or the inReach, or the inReach means is a kind of positioning system. GPS was also not allowed, in fact, but nowadays we are allowing for the mountaineering permitted by IMF or the Indian Mountaineering Foundation, the apex body, which gives the permission and which has got the permission for the MOD and the MOH, Minister of Defense and Minister of Home Affairs, to allow the satellite phones, etc., which could be, the rented from Indian Mountaineering Foundation, IMF. IMF has got the BSNL satellite phones now, and you can carry them now. Only this last 2 years, but though it's and you have to pay the rent and you have to pay the there's a recharge, that one too. But now it's allowed. Not all the areas means the the where the areas are quite too close to the border, but you can allow them. You are allowed now, but you can't take your own satellite phones. You cannot bring in India satellite phones, and you cannot use the InReach. Only with the permission of IMF you can allow them. And if you want to bring your own things, you have to take the permission, pre-permission with the MOH and MOD.
Thank you, sir. And finally, that you have done so much of exploration of the Himalayas, I would also like you to look up the Western Ghats. I'm very biased because this is in my region. So at some point, we would invite you because there are some amazing peaks here, but not that difficult as the Himalayas. But then it will be a great thing, especially certain peaks where the Shivaji Maharaj has his forts, etc., which are
Force,
still
yeah.
not scalable. So please explore. We'll be happy to kind of host you here and kind of facilitate that. And yes,
Thank you, sir, for your kind offer. It will be really nice that I heard about the Western Ghats. Only I climbed one rocky peak, the rock climbing. I do rock climbing. This Ritabrata was my there, so he's used to stay in Mumbai. So together near Pune is Tel Balia. You know that the rock towers are there.
hmm,
So I climbed those rock towers with them, and I heard about this fort walking. People walk in the night too, especially in this monsoon. They do that one. So it would be nice if I can get a chance
yes,
and
certainly.
get invited
We
that
look
day.
forward and thank you again for your time and taking us to the joy of exploration. Look forward to meeting you sometime and working together. Thank you,
Sure,
Team
sir.
Geo,
Sure, sure.
for putting up the technology support. Thank you, Mr. Ajay Singh, for continuously being there and giving us resource person, quality resource person. And with this, I take permission to close the webinar. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Thanks a lot, everyone. We will meet again next Saturday with a beautiful webinar again. So please spare your time to join us. And Debuda, this is not your last, the webinar on this forum, because last month also you already explored a peak in Himachal, and that is also it was a virgin, the peak, and it was explored by Debuda. So we will come back again with the Himachal part of the
Yeah.
Himalaya.
Be-
So
Before
Debuda,
that,
we will invite you. Sir,
yeah, quickly, there is one question from Janendra Kumar Rai who is asking, how do you manage food and water? I think Devuda did tell about carrying dry fruits and chocolates, kind of stuff. And he was also about disposal of toilet, like how do you dispose the waste? So that was two questions. And one question was from Nabil Neeraj, who was asking about the fitness level. I think Naveen, it requires really a kind of a very strong heart, and practice is also very important. Basically, before climbing high, uh, kind of the mountains. Normally, mountaineers do a lot of practice around at least till base camp, etc., so that they get acclimatized. So these are the two things I think I can sum up. So with this, I think we are out of long our time also, but it was a very interesting experience. Thank you again, everybody, for joining.
Thank you all. Namaskar.
Thank you.